on the area that we're in, we're not going to be able to get to the quarterback because he's going to step up. So when we're upfield that far and we feel like we're level with the quarterback and we can make a spin inside, we also do it with the end. Now, in coaching the spin, it's a must that once you plant your foot and start to turn, that you gain as much ground as you can with that other foot so that you're going up the football field. It's also a must as you spin that the arm comes around and you get it in the back of that blocker to propel yourself to the quarterback. Jason's going to demonstrate this for us on the spin move. He's an inside rusher. He needs to learn to do it both spin right and spin left. If you're a defensive right end, you go upfield and you spin to your left. If you're a defensive left end, you go upfield and you learn to spin to your right and go inside. Good. Good arm bar. Good gain in the ground. Good job. And now accelerate through the guy. Atta baby. As indicated by the pointer, we'll watch John Randall. He's lined up on the offensive right guard in an under tackle position. He's going to start his jet rush in that guard tackle gap, make a great spin, watch his feet, the ground he gains upfield, and the arm wrap around to make it a perfect spin move to the quarterback. The pointer's on 72, Jason Fisk, our nose tackle, going to show you a great spin move and acceleration to the quarterback. Watch the techniques. The spin was excellent. The dip right there was excellent. Getting under the blocker when he recovered, and the sinking of the hip and pointing toe to the quarterback was really good right there. The final thing that we do is called the gauntlet. Now we're going to allow the defensive linemen, and all of them do this. We go up and we go back. Eventually going back, we might be doing a strip drill at the other end. But in this phase now, they can use whatever move they like, whatever they want to work on, vary it on every dummy that they come to, every blocker, and then finish off another good sack on the quarterback. This is called the gauntlet. Those 5 things take about 10 minutes with 8 to 10 defensive linemen, and it's a great work for us. Gives them about everything you want in pass rush once they understand the concept and the fundamentals and have been through the walkthrough drills of sinking and dipping and slapping and all those type of things. Okay, we'll demonstrate the gauntlet. Solon's going to do it. Good stutter. Another stutter. Good rip. Good rip. All right. That's the way to finish it. The final phase that we're going to show you, and all 3 players are going to be involved in the demonstration, is what you can do prior to going down with the offensive line. To tie all those fundamentals together that we just demonstrated on the drills, and actually sometimes during practice, we're going to go one-on-one pass rush against the offensive line. Then we get to see exactly what we do properly and not properly. Fortunately, we get to film it and study it after practice and show it to the players. But even if you can't film it, the actual rush against the offensive lineman is a key, and you can tell what they're doing well and not doing well. Before we go down there with those linemen, or if you don't have any of the equipment that we've just used to demonstrate, we can do that all against each other, and that's what we want to show you now. Is that if you're a junior high coach and don't have equipment, high school coach maybe you don't have it, or if you want to actually get the feel of feeling each other and feeling the rush against the blocker, we're going to teach it to you in the next segment of drills. Okay, we now have eliminated all of the equipment. Jason's going to show you exactly where we started with the first short pop-up dummy. He's going to reach. He's going to shuffle by the blocker. He's going to do that twice since we only have 3 defensive linemen here. If you want to use 5 or 6 players, you could do that. He could go through all of them. But we're going to go through 2 guys. Jason will go once to the left, once to the right. That will be the first drill. Okay, Jason? Good. Good. Exactly the same thing he did on the dummies. The next phase that we're going to do without the dummies is going to be the second thing you saw earlier. Tony Williams is going to demonstrate going past the blocker. He's going to sink his hip, point the inside toe at the quarterback, wind it as tight as he can, go up to the next blocker, and do the same thing. And we would go right down the line, depending on how many linemen you had, really exaggerating the hip sinking and the toe pointing at the quarterback. Good. Put it in there. Good. The next phase, we've come out of our stance, we've jetted, we've gotten to the rusher, at the blocker, and we know that we've got to get his hands down. If we can take his hands down, up, knock him sideways, any way that we can get him, we really improve our chances to go by him, defeat him, and get to the quarterback. To work a drill, you can do this very quickly before practice, tie it into your practice and fundamentals. This is what we do. Jason's going to do about 4 different moves on Tony. All Tony's going to do is give him his hands, Jason's going to slap him any way he wants to slap him, any way he wants to work him. Get by him, get back, and do it again. It's a very good drill for hand usage. You can do all your players at once. Pair them up and let them all do it once if you are, if you have a time problem. In our case, we'll take it one at a time. Okay, Jason? Good. Get that one down. Both of them down. Both of them down. The next phase that we're going to get a feel for without any dummies, and to get the real feel of rushing, remember how we said we had to turn, get around that blocker, get on the edge? Well, now we're going to do it for real. Our offensive blocker is going to be a D lineman. He's going to simulate protection. The defensive lineman is going to rush. He's going to shuffle around that blocker, and when he gets perpendicular to the blocker's pads, he gets his shoulder pads turned. He gets skinny. Now he's ready to make his move. The blocker will provide a little resistance, and when he makes his move, it can be a violent rip, it can be a swim. We want to exaggerate sinking the hip, all the things we talked about. This is the first real feel of what's going to happen before we get with that offensive lineman. Are we ready to go? Now, Tony here is going to be going around a right offensive guard. If that was Stalin doing it as an end, he'd be going around the right offensive tackle. We're working to our left, and we're going to beat him to the left and then make our move to the quarterback. Good. Let's do it one more time. Be very good. Really shuffle. Really get by him, Tony. Get on the edge before you make your move. Here we go. Good. Now we have right side rusher. A right end. Stalin will demonstrate that position. He could also be a right defensive tackle against the left offensive guard. He's working to his right around the left guard or the left tackle. When he beats him, he's going to sink that inside hip and point and go to the quarterback. Okay, Stalin. Good. Good tip sink. Good soap. Good. The next phase is a counter. Now we've started around our offensive lineman. We're working upfield, and even if we defeat him, the quarterback has slid laterally, or he stepped up into the pocket, that if we defeat our blocker, we're not going to get the sack. Now is when we get the feel of when to counter. When to club and come back inside, or spin and come back inside, whichever kind of counter they prefer. This is the way we practice it. Our blocker now that's simulating a blocker is going to ride him real hard to the outside, and our rusher is going to realize, I can't get the quarterback here. I'm going to counter and go back inside, spin and go back inside, whatever kind of counter move we want to use. In this situation, Jason will be working to his left against the right side blocker, and he'll counter back to his right coming inside. Now this one's going to take a little bit longer. We're going to take it upfield further, okay? When he's ready. Okay. There we go. Very good. Jason started around him, couldn't make it, clubbed him out of the way, swung back inside. Let's demo another one. Let's try to take it a little further up the field. You can point it out a little more of an angle. Stop. Here we go. Just get the feel of the counter. Get around him. Can't make it. There we go. Good. Couldn't make it. The thing you also have is a coaching point for your lineman. If that guy's helmet is in your rusher's face, in his helmet, they get helmet to helmet. That's a good time and a good indicator of when to go inside. Now we'll do it from the other direction. Now we're working around the left guard or left tackle. We're rushing to our right. We're right ends, right tackles, and we don't make it. The quarterback's inside of us. We're going to counter and go back inside. You want to do it again, Jason? Here we go. Good job. Okay, very good. Now the next phase, we've done all those things after we've come out of our stance and started our jet rush, and we're in a 2-point stance. Now we're going to get down in a 3-point stance, and it could be and should be mostly the defensive interior lineman, but your ends can work this if they're making tight rushes against offensive tackles. We're going to demonstrate the counter, or the jab will lay here, where we make a quick move one direction and counter and go back inside in the other direction. Very prominent move for defensive tackles when they get guards to overset into the outside area and they counter and go back inside. Now in this one, our defensive lineman will simulate a guard or a tackle. He'll be in a 3-point stance. When he comes out of his stance, we'll make our move. We don't like this without ball movement. It's the only way we can do the drill. Are we ready? Here we go. Stalin's going to do the counter move. Good job. Let's do that again. Stalin, you see what happened there. Stalin started to the outside of Tony, a left guard or a left tackle. When he got him to set wide, felt him lean, lose his balance, or move that inside foot, he countered and went right back inside. This is the way we get the feel for that. Let's do it again, please. Good job. Okay, let's do a couple on the other side. Now we'll be working against a right guard or a right tackle. We'll be starting to our left and countering and coming back inside. Jason's going to demonstrate it against Tony. Tony's the right guard. Jason's the defensive tackle lined up outside shoulder of Tony. When Tony comes out of his stance, we're going. Good job. Got a little contact. Didn't hurt anything. Good counter. Good head fake. Good job of sticking his foot in that gap, his head in that gap, his eyes in that gap. You got to look. Make him sell over there. Okay, here we go. Another counter. Good job. Okay. The final phase of the individual rush before we get with the offensive line is to learn to come out of your stance, to feel where the offensive lineman has set, and if he's in the path that you want to rush, to make the appropriate move inside or outside, or if he's setting high and he's floating and he's on his heels, to butt him and go to the quarterback, or if he comes out top heavy, to swim and get over the top. We're going to try to give them exactly what they're getting ready to experience now with the offensive line. As a coach, I will stand over here. I will tell Jason where I want him to set. When he sets out of his stance, Tony will make the appropriate rush move. Let's try to do 2 or 3 or 4 of these, okay? All right, Jason, let's set here this time. Okay? Tony's ready. Good, arm over. We'll come back and do another one. I'm indicating to Jason where to set. Good. Stay right there as tight as you can off of him. Very good. Here we go. Tone, you ready? Feel that set. Okay, good. Went inside. Felt like he's setting a little wide. Also, this is the one time, if I can take Tony's spot here for just a second, the only time we teach our defensive linemen to butt or to bull rush is when a blocker is floating or setting deep. Now, I've seen a lot of coaches not coach that way, but our total purpose is to get away from the blocker. Don't block yourself. Don't try to make cleat marks on his chest. So everything we've done today has been on the edge. The only time we would butt him or bull rush is if he gave me a high hat or if he's on his heels like Jason is here and he's real light. Now I'm going to go ahead and butt him with my face mask, and instead of putting 2 hands in there, I might initially, but as soon as I get him in there, our coaching point is to use 1 arm. 1 arm's longer than 2. When I had both arms in here on the butt or the bull, and then I went to 1, I got him off of me, and now I can make my appropriate move. That's the only time we butt or bull rush. Think you can do that, Tony, or you want Jason to do it? If you feel him setting high, now you're going to know he's going high, right? And floating. All right, we'll give it to you. We'll see if Tony can do it. Okay, Tony, when you're ready. There we go. Got both hands in, then turn with 1 and got out. When you butt a player, don't just think because you butted him and you stunned him, if you stay locked up with him, you're not going to get the sack. As soon as you butt him, get into your move. 1-arm him. Push him away from you. Start your rip or swim. Get your body turned, whatever it's going to take. The pointer is on Dwayne Clemens. This is a good butt technique. He's going to come off, knock that tackle back, 1-arm him, and go to the quarterback. We'll repeat it for you. Once again, we only do this when the tackle's floating or setting high. Watch 72, the left tackle. Real deep. Weight on his heels. Dwayne felt it, 1-armed him, knocked him down, accelerated, and got a good hit on the quarterback. A good butt or bull or power technique. And a good 1-arm example. This is a butt or a bull rush. We would only butt or bull rush when the offensive blocker sets high. This guard does it. John Randall has great rush instincts, great awareness. The blocker sets high, he butts him in the face, pushes him off with 1 arm, gets separation, and gets the sack. The pointer is on John Randall. In this case, he's going to come off. The guard's going to set high. He feels it. He butts him, goes right around him, and gets to the quarterback. I will show you this once again to show you that the only time we will do this is when an offensive lineman sets high or straight-legged. Watch the guard. Very high, straight-legged, weight on his heels, all his cleats in the grass, leaning back. John can feel this. That's when he butts him, then puts that good left arm, knocks him away, goes to the quarterback. I'm going to put the pointer on Derek Alexander. He's going to come off on his jet rush. The tackle's going to set high. He's going to butt him. He's going to lock on. He's going to 1-arm him and swim over the top to the quarterback. While you're watching Derek, watch what I'm talking about with determination of John Randall. The left guard's going to block him. The center, when he loses Jason, is going to block him. The back's going to stay in and chip. In essence, John's working against 3 blockers. Great desire and determination to get to the quarterback. Watch the superb butt and 1 arm and arm over to the quarterback by Derek. Also, I did mention the great layout, the great hoop, and accelerating to the quarterback. Get that sack. These are the drills that we use to teach pass rush. I think if you apply some of them to your young rushers, you'll see definite progress. We do these every day that we work rush in the Minesota Vikings training camp. I want to thank Stalin and Jason and Tony for their work. They did a good job. I also want to thank you for what you're doing with the young student athletes in our country. It's so necessary. Everybody appreciates it. Keep up the good work.